Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling, your ultimate destination for all things AEW and WWE. Whether you're a hardcore wrestling fanatic or just a casual viewer, we've got you covered with the latest news, in depth show reviews, and our unfiltered opinions on everything happening in the world of professional wrestling. Join us as we dive into the high octane action, dramatic storylines, and backstage buzz of AEW and WWE. Get ready to step into the ring with us and stay on top of the wrestling world. This is Top Tier Wrestling.
Welcome to Top Tier Wrestling. I'm your host, the Ring General, Josh, and joining me as always is El Grande Americano, Don. This episode, we're diving into WWE RAW from September 29th. Let's get into it.
Woohoo! Happy International Podcast Day, folks.
Woohoo! Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I had no idea. Oh, that's fantastic.
Google tells me everything.
Hey, Google.
Google is our
rock on.
overlords. I can see
All
the
right.
future. Okay.
Well, I am happy to report that, unlike the SmackDown episode, this episode of Raw was pretty good. This one's coming to us from the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we have Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore as our commentators. And, well, I didn't miss Joe. But this episode, they get things started off hot. And that is with, "This is my brutality," as Rhea Ripley immediately takes the stage, and the crowd in Raleigh, North Carolina just explodes for mommy.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. If I may.
You may, by all means.
Let me tell you, I got this summed up perfectly. Okay, here we go. The show opens with Rhea calling out the Kabuki Warriors for their attack last Monday. But Io comes out and she admits that Rhea was right about Asuka and Kairi, but even still, they are her family. She walks out of the ring eventually, and Asuka and Kairi come from the other side and they attack Rhea from behind. They start stomping that ass, and Io runs back into the ring like, no ass stomping. She makes a save, but eventually she falls victim to Asuka's poison mist. And the beatings continue until referees and officials get in the ring to maintain the order. This is the drama that I was waiting for from the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea. I knew, and Io, I knew that it was going to happen. We both knew it was going to happen. I think everybody saw the writing on the wall here. But Asuka, it's like Asuka was made for this. It's like she's been waiting her whole life for this opportunity, and it is now her time to shine. And I am so here for it. Kairi's playing her role perfectly. She's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just trying to keep the family together, man. And
Yep.
This is really good. Fantastic opening.
Gone full abusive family member, and Kairi's like the peacemaker that just wants to keep everybody, keep it together. Because between the ass whooping and Io Sky leaving, Asuka appeared on the Titantron for a brief bit, basically saying that Io we can forgive, but it's too late for Rhea Ripley. And it was pretty good. I was really impressed by how Asuka leaned into being like the abusive member of the family, but is playing psychological games with Io, and Kairi's pressuring Io to, instead of pressuring the abusive member, she's pressuring the one that's being abused to keep cool.
Yeah.
And it creates an interesting psychology And so Io's torn, like even though she knows Asuka and Kyrie did wrong, like she said, they're her family and she loves them. So this was a pretty great segment. Like they've really turned this, the Kabuki Warriors kind of going heel thing into a pretty cool storyline. Like this was a great way to start the show.
Yeah. Also, basically bullying the so-called or the alleged weaker member of the faction, bullying them into submission, or bullying them to be a bully themselves. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah. Loved it. Fantastic opening.
Yeah, it
Hey,
was good stuff.
which led us, folks, right into a fantastic match.
Indeed. First match of the night. The defense of the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Mysterio not so much with the Judgment Day. They come out with him, but they leave pretty quickly after versus Rusev.
Ugh.
And I don't know about you, but I was like, well, how in the hell is Dom going to pull this one off? Not only is Judgment Day not there, and it's not because they were banned from ringside or anything, but they more or less feel that Dom needs to handle this one on his own because,
After the
he just
prior
does because
week.
he's in a faction where they keep coming up with reasons why the faction shouldn't help him. Although in the previous week, JD McDonough did attempt to help him and he kind of left him to the wolves. So this seems like it's proper comeuppance for Dom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I went into it. I'm not that excited about Rusev, unfortunately, but this match between Dom and Rusev, I was very curious to see how Dom, who has been impressing me increasingly over the past few months with what he ends up doing, especially channeling more of Eddie Guerrero. I was like, how are you going to deal with this monstrously larger than you opponent in Rusev? Because like, while he might not be like my guy, like I'm not like ooh Rusev, but like you can't look at Rusev and Dominic Mysterio and think anything other than Rusev is going to tear this man apart. And I was surprised. I was surprised at how well Dominic actually put on the match. And I was really happy to see how much of the Eddie Guerrero playbook he ended up incorporating. So for me, this actually was a surprisingly good match. I was really pleased with it. What were your thoughts?
I feel Dominic delivered a match that Eddie would have been very proud of. But I didn't think Rusev was gonna pull out a win here, but the match itself was very good. Now, I don't have a lot to say per se about the match, but I do have something to say about Rusev. I'm not sold on that dude, and it's because, and I heard you say that unfortunately you're not that big on Rusev. I'm not either. I don't feel it's an unfortunate thing. He hasn't done anything to make us impressed with him, I don't think. For me personally, I have issues with big men who use super kicks, high kicks, or drop kicks as finishers. I also have an even bigger issue with big men using submission holds as their finishers. This dude does both of those things. Um, no one is here to see your big ass ballerina kick anybody in the face. We want to see you drive your opponent's soul straight to hell. That's what we want to see. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you come out, you scream, you are impressively large, and you use that to your advantage until it's time to end the match. Then it's hey yeah, no, stop it, get some help. I don't want to see them. No, I want to see you put a
Yeah.
hole in the mat where your opponent used to be. That's what everybody wants to see. That's like I don't think anybody hired you to be the big dominating dude. You know, you're fighting against dudes like Sheamus, and you're fucking high kicking him in the throat. Get out of here. Get out of here. So that's why you're not impressive to me. That's why I don't think many people are sold on you. Aside from that, you are the goofier version of AEW's John Moxley. Nobody's here for that. So yeah, that's why I personally am not into him, and I think some of the things I just said is probably why you're personally not into him.
Actually,
Uh,
100%. Like you pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I think I've even stated on previous podcasts that I wasn't real thrilled with the Sheamus and Rusev matches because here you have two of some of the biggest guys, and Sheamus knees and kicks a dude in the face, and you've got Machka kick and Accolade Boy here, and it's like
Yeah.
I know WWE writ large just seems to be terrified of big move bumps these days. Like people were criticizing that Karrion Cross doesn't bump, and I'm like, damn near nobody does.
no, what to say?
I mean, you've got these giant guys, and it's like, you know, they never want to throw power bombs and slams, or they certainly do it with like it's a big special ass deal instead of you get to ever see these moves hardly ever. It's
Yeah.
like they're saving it for a special occasion, and it's like I thought the special occasion is that I'm watching fucking wrestling. Um, you know, and so that shit pisses me off, and it's a big reason. And I'll just get into the comparison straight off the cuff that I'm finding myself much more interested in the in-ring action over in AEW because like they pull so much of the punch that they're not fighting anymore in WWE. Like it's gotten to a point where I feel like 90% of the matches are clotheslines and shit instead of like these big throws and grapples. Like
Yeah.
again, I occasionally you'll see like some of the smaller wrestlers bumping, but it seems like the big boys just don't wanna. I mean, you've got Rusev here, who was in the ring with Dominic Mysterio, so he should have been bodying this way like Mysterio. I think weighs 200 pounds at like 6'3" or 4, and Rusev weighs I want to say 70 or 80 pounds more than that. I think they said he was 270. And I mean, he is just a mountain of muscle. So why am I not seeing him just throw this dude all over the ring like crazy and
Well, he
slamming
did.
him, like you said, leaving a hole in the mat?
Yeah, he did. See that's you're basically you're touching on the issue that I'm having because yeah, he did a lot of slams. He did a lot of throws he tossed Dominic around, which is why his finishers are that much more less impressive if that's a sentence. That's exactly why.
Yeah.
We all see you pretty much dominating. We see you physically manhandling Dominic until it's time to win the match. Then you give us a high kick. And then when that doesn't work, you go in for a fucking hold? Really? A submission
Yeah.
hold. You're
But I'm
322,000 pounds, my man. You bench lift your house. You bench press your house, and you for real high kicking somebody. Stop it. Get out of here. No, no, unimpressed. Eh. Fail. Weakest link. Get out of here.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like I remember seeing Rusev hit him with like a fall away slam. Like like I really didn't feel like I saw nearly as much slamming and just driving Mysterio into the ground as I probably should have. I contrast that with like um Big Bronson Reed, who you know I see doing Death Valley drivers and World's Strongest slams, and every so occasionally like a sit out power bomb, and it's like, yeah, I that's what I came to see. You know,
Yeah,
like why am I not seeing more of that from these like because from all accountings, right? Like you book something like Sheamus and Rusev, it's supposed to be the mighty meat man kind of match. And I just don't feel I get that from them. Like
yeah,
and at least not compared to where I have seen elsewhere. And even so it just he is a big man who would normally check the boxes, right? A big dude who theoretically is going to be all about power moves, and
yeah,
he's not. And while I can appreciate differentiation, watching a guy who has all the attributes to be able to throw and slam somebody all over the ring, opting to use kicks and submissions instead, is a waste. At least that's my take on it as a fan. It's just not interesting to me coming from guys big enough to do something else. Because I
Yeah.
always feel like those moves are more for the guys who are too small to do anything but.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so when it comes from a big dude or several big dudes, and looking at you, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, where their finishers are like a fucking kick, it just seems like a weak sauce cop out. Like you're big enough to do better than that. Like where is the Steiner screwdrivers and shit? Like we don't even
Yeah.
do pile drivers anymore in the WWE. So it's gotten so fucking kitten mittens in a lot of ways that it's just getting really hard to enjoy the in-ring ballet. Like the phrase "this isn't ballet" is starting to become less true in the WWE
Yeah.
with the
See,
way the work rate in the in-ring goes a lot of times.
now I know you said he didn't do a lot of throwing and all that, and you're right. What I'm saying is he did though, because he didn't do a lot of them, but he started out strong. Russo started this match out strong. He started out, he I think he had like a body avalanche in there. They needed a fall away slam. They needed a vertical suplex. Then they did another suplex. And remember when they were out in the outside on the apron, he did another fucking what was it? I think it was a fall away uh where he tossed him over his head onto the commentary or the commentator's desk. So he started out dominant. And when I see dudes doing that kind of stuff, but then you want to finish with like a super kick, or you want to finish with the accolade or whatever that move is called, it just takes away from the fact that you are a powerful, dominant wrestler. Like why not pick him up like you were doing at the beginning of the match, slam him, slam him to hell, and then pin him? Or do you run out of steam like after the first 2 or 3 minutes of the match? If that's the case, then conserve your energy and slam at the end. Like I'm not understanding why you want to finish with that.
Yeah.
Like you start out by showing your dominance, right? Like, oh, look what I can do, and I even said when he was doing it, all right, my man, you ain't Brock Lesnar. I even said that because he's tossing over here. Okay, cool, but watch how you finish this match, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
tick.
Yeah, and that might be a good example of the difference is that like Brock Lesnar throws and slams somebody to an excessive degree, and that's fantastic.
Yep.
Like he destroys somebody. He's like, "Oh, one F5. No, we're gonna do 6 of them
Yeah.
and 25 German suplexes."
You know what he doesn't do? He doesn't go in for a fucking hold, submission hold to win the
Every so
match.
once in a while, he will. He'll sometimes finish the match with the oh, I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's basically a double or like an arm bar.
Yeah, but I
But I
mean,
mean, he
I'm sure
doesn't
that's
do that nearly as often as he'll F5 the life out of somebody and take them to Suplex City. I mean, even the Undertaker had the Hell's Gate, but he didn't use it all that often. Um, And I mean, that's what I'm saying I'm missing is like these iconic moves. Like, think about The Undertaker, and the things that are going to come to mind are the Tombstone Pile Driver, the Last Ride Power Bomb, and his Choke Slam. Think of Kane, and you'll pretty much exclusively think of the Choke Slam. These are moves that defined these guys, and I'm sorry, you're right. The Machka kick and the fucking accolade just aren't good. Like they're not impactful enough.
no,
You know,
no,
and
not when you're
it's
428 pounds.
well, and the existence of the UFC where people are really throwing strikes and really submitting people out has never been more prevalent and associated with the WWE. So like we have no reason to pretend like we can't go see this really happen.
Yeah,
And so in a wrestling ring, I find those are even that much weaker when you contrast the two. Like, if we really want to see somebody get hit and knocked the fuck out, TKO and UFC are literally right there. Like, they are at your doorstep, WWE, saying, hey, we do this for real. And so trying to fake that shit in the ring just doesn't look that well. So what puts pro wrestling on a different level is the over the top slams and shit that you don't typically see in real fighting anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it to me it feels very cop out weak sauce to do those things when we know they're fake, and it's never been more obvious as shit to everybody in real time when you've got the UFC and TKO literally being advertised on your show,
Yeah.
and boxing matches and anything else. So to me, it is an absolute waste of these gigantic, hyper strong, super tall heavyweights to have them do fucking technical wrestler and like lucha bullshit because they're big enough that they don't need to.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with you on your assessment of why it's a combination of that. Like Rusev's wrestling style is just genuinely kind of boring to me, coupled with the goofiness and the fact that his character makes very little sense. So there's nothing really to latch on to.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And him, like you said, him having a character that you're just not getting, that doesn't help him at all.
Mm-mm. So, I mean, if I can't latch on to your in-ring style and performance, and I can't latch on to your character, yeah, what's there?
Yeah.
So I think that's the big basis for the problems we're having with a connection to Rusev. Like, you're wondering why this guy's not getting over with the audience. That's probably it right there in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's incoherent. Like he's just rambling about being the protector of muscles or some shit. I don't know. He's going on like he's not for me. How about that?
Yeah, the only thing I've garnered is that he's going to whoop the shit out of you for your own good or some crap like that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
he's here to
really,
help
really
you
not clear.
become a better person or something by beating the stuffing out of you. That'll
Yeah.
learn you. Get better,
But
damn it.
failings of Rusev notwithstanding, this actually was a good match, and Dominic Mysterio performed admirably. Did you want to mention the finish, or should I?
Oh, go for it.
Dominic Mysterio initially tries hitting Rusev. He rolls into the ring. He acts like he's going to take his belts and go home. And then Rusev intercepts him and throws him back into the ring. And he drops one of his two belts close to the ref so that the ref picks it up and goes to the corner. And while he's in that corner, he gets up with the other belt and attempts to hit Rusev in the back of the head. This pretty much just bounces off Rusev, and Rusev turns around and looks at him like, "You some bitch." And then he attempts to throw the second belt into Rusev's arms and flop. But the problem is that by the time he did that, the referee had turned around. So the ref walks over and is like, "What the hell are you doing? I saw the whole thing." And so he takes the belt, and the referee takes the belt and goes back over to the corner. So Dominic Mysterio then goes and grabs the ref from behind, looking like he's saying, help me, this monster's going to kill me," or something like that. And then Rusev comes and grabs a hold of the back of Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic very overtly low blows Rusev and then rolls him up in a schoolboy pen. And the ref turns around and immediately counts it without questioning how Rusev fell to the ground holding his dick. And it was brilliant. Like, it was like a whole bunch of the Eddie Guerrero playbook of him lying, cheating, and stealing his way to a win over a surprisingly large opponent.
Yeah.
And that part was fantastic. Like, that was everything I wanted to see out of that match. Like, how is Mysterio going to lie, cheat, and win? And it is the same feeling I used to have with Eddie Guerrero. Like, how are you going to? And here's the thing. There are plenty of times that Guerrero could just straight beat a guy. Like, he didn't lie, cheat, and steal because that's all he knew how to do. Like, he was a damn good wrestler. But when he did lie, cheat, and steal, that shit was so creative and crazy.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal, and I'm starting to see that really manifesting in Dominic Mysterio, and I'm here for all of that. That
Yep.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Well,
Now, oh,
go
huh?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna move on to the next segment.
Sounds good.
Yep. Uh, which was LA Knight and Adam Pearce continuing to remind us that WrestlePalooza was a thing, and we all let it happen. LA Knight wants a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship, and the New Day still want the Mexican Destroyer banned. LA Knight doesn't care about what the New Day wants at all, and Kofi thinks that Knight should definitely care. Knight wants to fight about it, Kofi doesn't, and Pierce doesn't care. He just wants a drink. He makes a match between LA Knight and Kofi Kingston official for the night. True story, that's what happened.
True story. Yep. And Kofi wanted to talk all that smack, but when Adam Pearce was like, "Oh, what did he say to LA Knight? Well, you don't make the matches." And Pearce was like, "Yeah, but I do, and it's official." And Kofi was
Yeah.
livid about it. He was like, "What the hell? Why would you do that?"
He clutched the pearls, y'all. Yeah, he was he was shook about it.
He was indeed fully shook.
Shooketh. Uh, Following all of that, we ended up watching a very long segment about the beginning history of Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm just saying it was long, and it was like part one. Uh, so there's more. There's more of that to look forward to. I know that you guys are so excited. I know I am.
You know, typically I would be right there with you, but I did just say on SmackDown that I felt like this felt very thrown together. Like just because they're both the champions, they're going to meet at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
And it was like there's been no recent heat between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins to build my interest. I feel like WWE realized that and they were like, okay, we got to actually, like, it can't just be because they're both the champions, they're just going to face off. We got to build some heat for this one. So they took the time here to try and do exactly that.
Oh, they did.
And
They did.
I don't know if part one did it so much for me because it was, like you said, just some long video package, but later I think that changes for me.
Yeah. No. Later, this gets good, guys. Trust us. It gets good. But this was a very. I mean, it was a lengthy segment. Um, with those two basically talking to each other, but not in the same room. And then after that, we get a backstage segment where Bailey runs into Lyra backstage, and she's acting like she didn't lose her shit on Lyra last week. She's even wearing like one of Lyra's shirts, and uh Lyra is just not impressed, right? She ultimately tells Bailey that she cannot handle her bag of crazy, and she ain't gonna be in her corner when Bailey has her match later in the night. Uh, I think it's like right after that segment, actually. Because I think it
Yep.
was the second match. But I mean, it's essentially, like last week, Bailey just went off on Lyra in the ring again, and Lyra's like, "Yeah, man, I am." I am over all of whatever the hell this is, which of course means she'll be out there later if something goes awry in the match. We all know. Um, but after she tells her that she's not going to be there, that pretty much leads us into the second match of the night, which is Bailey versus Raquel, and Raquel has Roxy Perez with her. And now Bailey is somewhat out of sorts coming out on her own. Like she keeps looking at the she keeps looking down the ramp, to see if maybe Lyra shows up. And I don't know what it is about Bailey, but she does a really good job of making you feel super bad for her when she's like uncomfortable or sad. You know what I mean? Or anxious or something. Like you're like, "Oh, no." Like she does a really good job of that. Um but
Yeah.
yeah, but eventually she gains her momentum. briefly with Raquel before uh Raquel, with the help of her new treasure troll doll, Roxanne Perez, squashes it. Like I cannot stress enough, and I've said this before in previous podcasts, I'm sure, but I am so happy with the route they have taken with Raquel.
Agreed.
Like she is just so dominant. It's getting to the point where you don't question whether or not she can squash something. You know she's going to get in the ring and destroy. This is very smart because if they want to pit her against people like Rhea or Stephanie, or in many cases, or in some cases, Tiffany or Jade, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you want to put her against big, dominant female wrestlers, you gotta make her dominant. And they have done chef's kiss at that. I didn't think it was possible, honestly. But they've actually done a very good job at it. I hope they keep it up. Fingers crossed. Um, and the little treasure troll doll, Roxanne, she's doing amazing as well. I can't wait for Liv to come back though, so that drama can blow up. Um,
Oh
but
yes, yes.
cause you know it's gonna happen. But Raquel squashes Bailey, and after the match, Raquel and Roxanne go in for the attack on Bailey, but almost immediately they're confronted by Lyra, who comes in for the save. Eventually, though, the two get the better of Lyra until Bailey's third personality takes the wheel and clears the ring of the Judgment Day.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, she just fucking She-Hulks out. Now Lyra, who isn't sure which version of Bailey she's about to deal with, she's still in the ring, but she's on the ground. She's backing away from Bailey. But it's cool, y'all, because Bailey's now the huggy version of herself at the end of the confrontation, and her and Lyra stand victorious for now. I I'm loving where they're going with this. I really am. And Bailey is doing a good job of selling it. I think that's the most important. She's doing a real good job of selling me on this. So I'm liking where they're going. I wish that Lyra was doing something like going for a championship belt. But I guess they have other plans for the belt that was meant for people like Lyra.
Yeah, mayhaps.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Well, I pretty much agree with your take here. I felt like this was a solid match. There was only one spot that I wish had gone better, and it's Bailey attempting to do either a counter into a stunner
Oh
or like, and
yes.
remember previously with the Stun Dog Millionaire,
Yes.
like
Yes.
she ends up not, it ends up not quite landing right. Now this time she like got back up and then literally just stunnered Raquel, like kicked her in the midsection. She might as well have thrown up two middle fingers and done it. So the second stunner looked good, but the first one that was supposed to be like a counter out of it did not.
Yeah.
Um, but otherwise, this was a very solid match between the two of them. Bailey was like doing some greatest hits stuff. Like there was a point where she threw up the Jeff Hardy hand signals and then drilled a swanton bomb into Raquel, and it was pretty good looking.
Yeah.
Um,
She's
and
so
the
corny and adorable.
yes,
I love her for it.
and she can pull off some really good stuff. When I guess she is produced to do so.
Yeah.
But I'm liking how they're depicting Raquel here. And there was a point where Wade Barrett said something about like, if we were giving out the award for most improved, Raquel would have already won it.
Yeah.
And we were forced to agree. Like Raquel is doing very, very good. And I tend to think she was probably more or less always that good. That's what she was doing in NXT, but
Yeah.
they wanted to book her for the longest time as being like this big, slow, not that great doofus. And now she's really getting to shine as like a powerhouse. There was a point I want to say that like Bailey attempted to do a tornado DDT out of the corner, but as she tried to spin Raquel around, Raquel just stopped the motion by like hanging on, like just caught Bailey and stopped it, and then flung Bailey to the mat like
Yeah.
it meant nothing. And I was like, now that is the dominance we need to see.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the way the match ends is with, after, of course, Roxy Perez rakes Bailey's eyes, which was the instigating act that got Lyra's attention, I think. Although she didn't actually come out until after the match when there was the beatdown, but it was a rake to the eyes of Bailey while she had Raquel in like a figure four that led to the figure four being broken, and Bailey's like, my eyes, and then Raquel just drills her with a Tejana bomb, and then pins her in extremely dominant fashion to win the match. And I love to see that. Like, that is the Raquel Rodriguez I have been wanting to see since she debuted on SmackDown, like,
Yeah.
what, 2 years ago. So I'm glad to see that she's finally showing up. This is the Raquel that got me excited back in the day, because she is a powerhouse and can do some ass kickery. And so it's good to see that come out. So she put on a really good match here with Bailey, and then you already described how it went down post match with the beatdown. I have to say, of Lyra and Bailey, and Bailey's like multiple personality thing going on. We had kind of predicted this kind of craziness. I'm waiting for it to turn into Bailey trying to get the belt off of Becky. I'm curious if that's the direction they're going to head. And then you'll end up with Lyra, who at this point is helping Bailey to win that belt off of Becky Lynch. And we will have come in a really weird and kooky circle. So I'm very interested to see how this develops between these two, Lyra and Bailey.
Yeah. We shall see.
But after that match, which was another good match, we see the Usos talking in the back. And Jimmy walks up to Jay, and Jay is getting hyped up for the upcoming match. And Jimmy mentions that, Jay kind of walked last week when Jimmy needed help to assist LA Knight. And Jay points out, why would we help LA Knight? That's getting us nowhere. He cost us the match at WrestlePalooza, and he reverses the question. He's like, why are you helping LA Knight? Jay says that he had made it clear he didn't want to help out LA Knight and didn't want Jimmy to help him out, and then Jay gets a little snippy with Jimmy here and says, he did what he had to do. He got the victory last week on LA Knight. That's mission accomplished. And maybe if Jimmy did more of that, or, Jay said if he did more of that, maybe he'd be world champion again. And that's something Jimmy doesn't get, which was a ding at the fact that Jimmy's never had, I think, even a singles title, let alone been world champion. But then he tries to quickly move past that, realizing, that what he said probably was a little sharp for Jimmy. And he says, they're going to go out there and handle their business with the Vision tonight.
Yeah.
And then, then we are taken to a segment where we see Io Sky telling Kairi Sane to stay away because Kairi has approached her, and Io is sitting there with all blue-green spray in her face and on her body. And she's basically telling Kairi twice, just to get away from her. But Kairi is pleading that it's not too late and they could still be a family. All Io has to do is follow Kairi and apologize to Asuka. And Io says incredulously, apologize to Asuka? And then she just reasserts for Kairi to leave her the hell alone. And Kairi walks away dejectedly, leaving a picture of all three of them in Io's lap.
Drama.
drama. And that leads us into our third match, LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston with, of course, Xavier Woods. And what were your thoughts on this match?
I feel that Knight stumped Kofi back to his Jamaican accent.
Yep, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, is that it? Is that the sum and
Yeah,
total?
that's it.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean it was essentially just a good match, but I mean it was a stomp match. And the way that LA Knight went about getting his what is it? BFT? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yes. The way he goes about getting his BFT is really clever.
Did you want to describe
And
that or?
I I mean you normally do the describing of the moves, but sure.
Oh, okay, got you.
Uh Knight goes for a belly to back suplex, and Kofi lands on his feet, which just leads Knight right into the BFT. Like it looked like Kofi was like, haha, I counter. And LA Knight was like, no, you don't.
Did you though?
And it was quite clever. It was really nice. He always gets his BFT really smooth, kind of like Randy Orton always gets his RKO. So it's always
Yeah,
from out of nowhere.
indeed. And this one was like especially out of nowhere. Like we were kind of surprised. We were like, oh, oh, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, my assessment of the match isn't too different from yours. It was a very solid match, and despite Woods running a bunch of interference, LA Knight still got a killer counter BFT off on Kofi for the win. So good match, not an especially long match, and all that smoke Kofi was talking about. One of us is formerly a world champion, and the other one's never been. Well, I guess we know that LA Knight could have taken the belt off you on any given evening, Kofi.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Following that match, I believe they gave us a brief recap. Well, brief relative to other less brief ones of Cody Rhodes' confrontation with the Vision that led to Randy Orton coming out on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then we have a segment involving Becky Lynch.
Oh.
Would you like to speak to this one?
Yeah, I will. So Tozawa is walking with Maxine backstage and giving her props for her progress. When Becky comes along to tell everyone that she's still the best female wrestler of our time, and it's not just her saying that. Tozawa says, "No, I'm the best female competitor." And Becky punched him in the soft spot for it. He dropped for it. He dropped. Maxine like turns her attention to Tozawa, you know, for some reason. Like she says something to Becky and Becky walks off, and then Maxine turns her back on Becky to check on the floored version of Tozawa, and she's promptly attacked by the best female wrestler of our generation. Look, it's not just me saying that, okay? She says it a lot too.
Yeah, she'll definitely let you know if you haven't heard it from someone else.
Yeah, if you haven't, just give her 5 seconds. She'll let you know. So that was pretty much it. Tozawa got punched in the soft spot. Uh, Maxine was like, no, and then she got beat up. And then people came to break it up, but by that time, Becky had already beaten the brakes off of her. And after that, she's walking up. The camera follows Becky from her attack. There's just fire in the back, like cats are screaming, firemen are chasing. It's horrible back there behind Becky. And she walks up to Seth. She asks Seth if he wants her to come out with him or any of the vision, or what is she? What does he need her to do? And he's like, I got to do this by myself. He's got to do it on his own. Uh, so yeah, that's pretty much what happened back there. That's how we met Becky the cat. That's what she. Becky reminds me of a very mischievous Siamese cat. I don't know why, but that to me is her personality.
I can dig that.
Yeah. All that
But
takes us though into probably one of the best like promos of the night, and I think it's the one that got both you and I interested in this match between Seth and Cody.
indeed, Seth gives his full entrance and makes his way to the ring. And he is currently dressed in like this massive black, I want to say long coat and like a black shirt and jeans, and like high heels. I don't know about that one, but he comes out looking like Sith Rollins instead of Seth Rollins. And he proceeds to wait for the crowd to chant like for literally every wrestler on the roster. Like they were singing his song, and then it became OTC chants, and then it became
CM
like
Punk.
CM Punk or AJ Lee chants, and then it worked its way finally around to Cody Rhodes, and I think that's what he was waiting for, because a lot of his promo relied on the crowd eventually chanting for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and he more or less presents that this upcoming match at Crown Jewel is a huge deal and one that may very well decide the next 10 to 20 years of the future of the entire industry. So he has painted this picture that Cody Rhodes, like winning or losing against him, is this massive existential threat to the future of the entire pro wrestling industry. And in short order, immediately after he's done saying how Seth Rollins has sacrificed everything trying to rid the place of cancers like Roman Reigns and CM Punk, yet still the crowd chants for Cody. Then Cody Rhodes comes out again, full entrance, and he more or
Without the
less says
fireworks.
without the fireworks. That's right. There was no pyro. I don't think that was intentional. I think
No.
pyro just didn't fire. And he says, what are we talking about? The future of the industry seems a bit much. And he's challenging that this doesn't have to be this big existential threat that Seth is making it. Essentially, it could just be like, the undisputed champion versus the world heavyweight champion to just see who's best, to test one another. And he does then question who's actually in control of the vision. And Seth repeats several times that every decision goes through him. And Cody was like, even the one about Paul Heyman announcing Brock Lesnar? And he says, every decision runs through me. And Cody is basically saying, look, I'm trying here. Like, this is supposed to just be a contest. This is supposed to be fun. I'm even thinking back to, WrestleMania XL, where you were extending your hand to me. You were the shield for me. And I felt like every bit of the emotional guilt between us was lifted and amended. I thought you were my friend. And Seth is like, shut up. I was never your friend. We'll never be friends. You were just a means to an end.
Yeah.
And let me make one final thing clear here. You were the lesser of two evils, but you and I, we're never going to be friends. I'm never going to shake your hand, raise your hand, or call you the better man. I'm never going to call you my equal. It's not going to happen. But what I will do is I'll cleanse the timeline. At Crown Jewel, everything that happened before us is dead. And after Crown Jewel, I'm going to make a new history, one where I write the future, and there's only one person that will lead that vision, and that person is Seth freaking Rollins. And so my recounting of it does not do justice to the intensity that Seth Rollins delivered this last bit of his promo. Like Seth was on a I would like to win a daytime Emmy level with this one,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
really elevated this feud. Like exclusive. I'll give credit to Cody Rhodes for being on the opposite end of this, and I'm not taking anything away from Cody Rhodes, but Seth just went to another fucking level with his acting chops, and the pure intensity of this particular interaction absolutely set fire to this feud that was not there until this moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was the line of questioning and the lead up that Cody used, which was pretty good. I saw that's the credit I'm gonna give to Cody here. He had to be somewhat of the straight man. He had to be the man who was going to uh usher Seth into the place he needed to be to give this emotional response, and he did so immediately. So it was really good. It was really, really good. It was almost like Seth was fighting with a different version of himself for just a second when he was confronted with the "I thought we were friends" sentence. Um so yeah, that was really good. So I can't wait, because now what he did was he put emotional believability into the scenario where we already knew that he has been taking this particular position uh from a I'm the good guy standpoint. Like, he, as far as he's concerned, he's the good guy who is doing what's necessary. Not what's liked, not what's popular, but what's necessary. And
Yeah. Yep. The
he's
ends
he's
justifies the means.
yeah, so he's pushed by his desire and his faith, his belief in what he's doing. So he's not gonna be, he might not be the fan favorite. He might not be best friends with people in the back, but he will be in control and things will be right. So, and he feels like he's taking this from that standpoint. So when he's confronted with something like "I thought we were friends," he probably immediately wants to say, yeah, of course we're friends. But then the person who he has to be takes over and says, not only do I have to crush this part of myself, but I have to crush the belief or the hope that he may have that we're going to be on equal ground. We can't be on equal ground because I have to be the person who is making the decisions here. I have to be the person in charge, because if no one is in charge, anarchy, chaos, dogs and cats sleeping together. So I have to be in control of this. Nobody else has the mental capacity. No one else has the cognitive capacity, if you will, to do this. I got to do it. Nobody else.
Yeah. Precisely so. Not just that no one would be in charge, but that he trusts that no one else could do what needs
No
to
one else.
be done.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all of that is just it was good. It was real good.
Yeah, and it really solidified the character that Seth Rollins is portraying here as someone who believes in a very specific vision, has watched how things have failed, and believes he is the only one who sees what needs to be done, and is the only one with the capability and who can be trusted, by way of his motives, to actually pull it off. He's
Yeah.
watched Roman Reigns, you know, wreck the industry. He's seen all of these things happen. He's seen people go and form other companies that threatens, the WWE homeland.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's no way that Cody, who he views as a traitor, can be the quarterback for the WWE, the guy who wanted to tear the place down.
Yeah.
Um, and not only do we see that he believes it, but he sells us on it. Like, Seth fucking took it to another level here. I mean, it was unbelievably good performance by Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
And after that really intense promo it really did the job. Like, he suddenly has made me think that this is somehow the most important match to take place at Crown Jewel. So well done.
Yeah.
We see Rhea Ripley catching up with Io Sky in the back. And she tells Rhea tells Io that she had a conversation with Adam Pearce, and at Crown Jewel. No, wait, I'm getting that backwards again, right? No, Io tells Rhea that she was right, and she's had a conversation with Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
And at Crown Jewel, Rhea and Io will battle the Kabuki Warriors. And Rhea looks immediately concerned and says, Io, no offense, but these are people that you just told me are your family.
Yes. Yeah.
Are
It's
you
like
are you sure you're up for this? Can
30
I
minutes
trust you?
ago.
Can I trust you, Io, that if we get into this match, you're going to be able to go through with this? And Io says Kairi Sane is lost and she can't go back to them. And that convinces Rhea, who agrees to the match and then hugs Io. So we've now got Rio. I keep wanting to say Rio. We've got
Rio.
Rhea
I
and
love
Io.
it.
Rio is the
Rio.
tag name. There it is. It's
Yes.
just Rio.
Oh my
We've
god, I love it.
we've got Rhea and Io facing off against the newly heel turned in the extreme Kabuki Warriors for Crown Jewel, and they have pre-built this match to happen. Like if you have been sucked in at all to this drama, then you absolutely want to see Io and Rhea battle it out with the Kabuki Warriors. And there's that part in the back of your mind that Rhea just spoke to. Will Io stay true, or will she betray Rhea in the end? And so this is automatically compelling. It's great. This is a fantastic match, and this has been a fantastic angle. We weren't sure where it was going. It seemed weirdly like bad girlfriend relationship, but now it's gotten more to like a bad break in the family kind of a thing. And, Rhea rightly speaks to, can I trust you on this one? Because you're having to go against your family. Are you going to turn on me because you still love them? And so it's immediately got the drama and the compelling storyline that makes this match an easy one to be interested in going into Crown Jewel. Well done.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I believe after that, we see AJ Styles performing his phenomenal entrance, and he comes out to the ring and the crowd's cheering for him. They're all happy to see old AJ Styles. They do, in fact, want some AJ.
They do.
And then I think there was a commercial break that comes back just a little at the end of Dragon Lee's entrance, but he is now in the ring with AJ Styles. And he's got the microphone initially, and he briefly says, that he's the number one contender for the AAA Mega Championship, and he's coming after Dominic Mysterio, and that he is honored to share the ring with AJ Styles, which then leads into a promo for AJ Styles. And AJ then goes on to thank everybody, but he mentions, much like Dragon Lee has his upcoming match, he himself has a match at Crown Jewel with John Cena, and he wants to thank the crowd because he believes that happens because of them, because it's something they wanted to see.
Truth.
But then he goes on to say, however, tonight, Dragon Lee and we're going to kick Los Americanos' ass. And that leads us into the fourth match, which is AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos with El Grande Americano. And Los Americanos are the two little El Grande Americano lookalikes that have been coming out recently, apparently now as a tag team, Los Americanos. And what were your thoughts on this match?
Now, I actually don't have a lot to say about the match. I think if there was a match that was like the weakest match of the night, it would be this one. But I don't want people to think that the match was bad. It was not. but it was kind of a foregone conclusion whenever Los Americanos came out. But here's my problem. I do want to talk about this. It's not that I'm over El Grande Americano. I am not. Okay? But WWE always does shit like this. They have something that's supposed to be niche, right? Something people will see very little of, and then they just take the mystique, the comedy, like they just take it out of it. It used to be like the comedy relief, the oh my god, who's this, and now they've made them into a tag team, and I'm gonna be, it could be partly because I know who the other two guys are, who Los Americanos are. Maybe that's it, but I don't see the reason for this tag team. Um, how can I put this? Uh, Man, I think that's it. I just don't see the point. I don't see the reason for it. They were supposed to be um there for like a gag, there for like a storyline. And now we've legit made them a tag team, and I just don't understand why. Whenever I think of El Grande Americano, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see two people who pretend to be El Grande Americano sometimes now in a tag team match. And I know, and somebody out there might be thinking, "Man, that sounds really stupid," and maybe it is, but I, I, w- I'm just not. I wasn't sold. I wasn't sold on the idea. I liked them better when they were just coming out to confuse, quote unquote, confuse audience members. Um, yeah, and they didn't do
I think,
anything in the ring that was so stand out that I would think to
yeah.
myself, "Oh, they really do need to be a tag team." Yeah, this is wasted talent. I didn't get that. I still felt like I was watching. I don't know if anybody. In the South, we have the rodeo, and whenever people or cowboys are out there doing something dangerous with a bull or with an animal that could basically destroy them, they have those clowns that come out to distract the bull. That's Los Americanos. Sorry, that like it. Those they just come out to do like look at us, and then they just fucking fuck off. That's how I feel about it. So
Yeah, I don't think any of what you said is like if somebody out there is thinking that's a completely pointless perspective or stupid, then I disagree. Because I mean, even if for example I didn't agree, I can see where you're coming from. Like Los Americanos and El Grande Americano are like a small doses gag,
yeah,
not a standard. Um, like I think everybody who's ever seen El Grande Americano, whether it's Chad Gable or Ludwig Kaiser, is sitting there waiting for them to, move on from that gimmick. Like nobody's sitting there thinking this is the new version of Chad Gable or the new Ludwig Kaiser. And even
yeah,
fewer people probably thought that like the two extra surprise Grande Americanos were ever to be like a tag team that battles in the ring.
exactly.
Um, so I agree with you. And I do to some extent think that overexposure will wreck this gag. Like it's really funny in small doses.
Yeah,
Um, and it's definitely more of a gag that I think would fit in like Lucha's AAA. Like this could be a more standard act there, but it seems. I agree with you. I agree with you that it demystifies it and it overplays the joke. Um, I do think that this match was okay. I know who what is it? Bebop and Rocksteady? No, Blue and Red basically. It's what Riho and Bravo. Um
hmm
that are the two members, and it might as well just be called red and blue because the only way you really can tell the difference is one has a blue mask and the other one has a red one. And in fact, it's actually the first letter is kind of color coordinated that way. Bravo's in the blue mask, Riho's in the red mask. Now, we know that that is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. And I was never a fan of those two. Like they actively made me want to change the channel, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
So maybe some of that's carrying over. Knowing who's under the masks just kind of kills it for me. But I will say in this match, they actually seemed like they went outside of their typical shtick in the ring. Like they've modified their in-ring work to be more lucha style too. At least a little bit we got to see because, as you said, it was kind of a foregone conclusion, and Styles and Dragon really kind of raffle stomped them.
Yeah.
The only wild card would be, can El Grande Americano cheat a win for him? And he couldn't because AJ Styles took El Grande Americano out of the equation by like jumping on him from inside the ring. And so in a nutshell, we end up with a match that really was about putting Styles and Dragon over, who showed that they actually can perform really well as a tag team together. One of the things that I liked was the way it finished. You had Dragon Lee pop up, and it doesn't matter. It just one of the Los Americanos. It could have been Bravo, could have been Riho. It doesn't matter. But he pops up their opponent into or onto AJ Styles' shoulders, and AJ turns that into the position for a Styles clash, and then Dragon proceeds to do a like suicide plancha over the top rope onto the other one, Bravo Riho, who cares? And after he was taken out, that just left AJ all the time and opportunity that he needed to hit a massive Styles clash and pick up the win. So this was absolutely a squash match in favor of Styles and Dragon, giving them all the momentum leading into their upcoming matches.
Yeah.
So Dragon and Styles look good together, but I agree with your assessment about like Los Americanos and El Grande Americano. Like that is a gag I think best reserved in smaller doses, not a standardized act like that comes out and wrestles as a tag team, shit like that. But I mean, that's WWE's choice to make. But I agree with you. I agree with you on all of that because it is demystifying like the coolness factor of El Grande Americano and the mystery of like who were the other El Grandes. So I tend to agree. Like it wasn't a bad match, but it was a squash match. So it wasn't like any great big deal match. It sure won't be match of the night, but it was a nice showing for Dragon Lee and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And after that, we get some promotional stuff, but we do end up with a promo with Jackie Redmond having a backstage interview with Stephanie Vaquer. And she talks about how she's excited about Crown Jewel and facing Tiffany Stratton. And of course, as they are wont to always say these days, like there's so much respect for everybody, it's making me a little nauseous. Stephanie's like, I respect Tiffany, but she's going to learn why La Primera is unstoppable. And she says she's going to become the Crown Jewel champion. And Tiffany Stratton, a SmackDown superstar, just happened to be like 1 millimeter out of frame and jumps in and says, I also respect you, Stephanie. They're respecting the fuck out of each other, apparently. Yeah. But she's taken out legends, and the best women's division has had the women's division has had to offer this entire year. If that's the case, just to deviate for a second here, I saw an infomatic like post that sort of showed who Tiffany has defended against. And she's defended against Nia Jax 5 times and Jade Cargill like 3, and has only had 3 other opponents that she ever fought once. So like not a huge like that's the entire division, like. So already I'm like, Cap, you've mostly fought with Nia Jax. Like seeing that that information really reinforced what I had asserted, which is you only can seem to wrestle well or have good matches with Nia Jax. And if you're like, well, I wrestled Jade 3 times, which one of those was a good match? Which one was one where you didn't fly out of the ring and break your head, which is why you didn't have a match at WrestlePalooza? Not that I think we missed anything there. So again, you only have good matches with Nia Jax. And you happen to be unfortunately involved in the travesty that was the main event of SmackDown. So yeah, not really some good talking points for Miss Stratton here. But she says she's been the women's champion for 268 boring as fuck days. And she's not going to let somebody who's been on top for only 2 weeks change their story. I don't know, Tiffany. Someone who's only been on top for 2 weeks has already been cooler and better in promo packages, you know, waiting for her first major defense at Crown Jewel. So I think Vakur is going to kick the fuck out of you, or at least she damn well better.
Yeah.
But she finishes off by saying they're both flying to Australia. They're both, you know, going to show up at the arena. But one thing will always be the same. I'm like, but those other things were the same. Okay, whatever. This will always be Tiffy time. And Stephanie finishes it off maintaining her short and sweet and ice cold cool demeanor, saying Tiffy's time will be over. And Tiffany, always needing to get the last but not the best word, says La Primera will have to get used to being second place. So I don't know. I'm sure that was a competent enough promo. Like it was short enough that Tiffany couldn't fuck it up too bad. But I am so disillusioned with Tiffany Stratton as a champion or as a performer at this point that I root for no one or for really literally anyone to defeat her. I'm sick of her push. I'm sick of these boring ass matches that she can only have with Nia Jax. And I'm pre-tired now of the matches with Jade Cargill.
Pre-tired.
I think at this point, Nia Jax just needs to beat both of them up and put them both on the shelf. Tiffany, I'm over for a variety of reasons I've gone on and on and on about. And Jade, I'm really just starting to lose faith in. Like, she's got the look, sure, but she seems to be at the heart of every major main spot flub. Like, her in-ring ability is just too piss poor. So the one out of the three that I'd like to see the belt on at this point and to continue in the WWE would be Nia Jax.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't disagree. I'm just kind of, boy, it's not that Tiffany isn't good. She's good, but everything else is kind of lackluster with her. Whereas Jade Cargill is okay in everything else but the ring. And Nia Jax, she's got the trolling down. She's good in the ring. She's strong. She's dominant. I mean, put the belt back on her so that we can move on because Jade ain't ready. Jade ain't ready.
No.
And Tiffany ain't interesting. I'm sorry.
Let me try to be charitable here because I think I've been pretty rough, but that's because my disappointment is pretty big.
Your disappointment is immeasurable.
Yeah, but my day isn't ruined because fuck them. But let me try and be a little positive here. All right, here's some positivity. If I'm being optimistic, I would absolutely love for Tiffany and Jade to rise to the occasions in which they have found themselves. I don't think Tiffany has risen to the occasion of being a good world champion for the women's division. And I don't think Jade has risen to being the main eventer that WWE wants her so desperately to be because she looks so good. Like they got it's her look that is carrying her almost exclusively. Like she's not super the best on the mic and she's really pretty bad. Like Nia Jax fucking grilled her about it on that promo a week or so ago,
Yeah.
where she was spitting straight facts about like, well, yeah, you got the look, honey, but then you get in the ring and it's over. And
Yeah.
so I would love for them to correct my opinion of them as it stands now, but my opinion is what it is right now. I'll be one. I will happily be one over though. Like I'm not stuck on it. I'd prefer not to be the case. I want to like both of them.
No. Give me a reason
So
to mark out for you, please.
yeah,
Please. That's all I want to do.
let me love you, you know? So I'll be the first one to be like all about some Tiffany or some Jade when they are actually delivering on what the position they're in requires.
Yeah.
And for Tiffany, she's just going to have to tighten it up. Part of Tiffany's she did screw it up pretty bad with the Charlotte Flair stuff. Like that was pretty bad, and she seems to crumble under pressure, like when she has to do some long promos or stuff like that. So get better at your promos. And then I think the other half of it might just be booking. Like some of it is just WWE booking you to only wrestle like the same two people 1,000 times. And I
Yeah.
don't know why they're doing that. Is it your fault? Is it their lack of creativity? I don't know, but fix it. Um and then you've got Jade, who is okay on the mic. She's phenomenal with her look, but she's turning out to be like the Ultimate Warrior, who was also phenomenal with his look, okay on the mic, and couldn't wrestle for shit. So you're the female Ultimate Warrior, and not in all the good ways. So just get better in the motherfucking ring. And then we turn our attention to Nia Jax. And I would like to raise an unpopular defense for Nia Jax. There may have been some truth back in the day that Nia Jax may have caused some injuries and been, a problem. I don't think that's pervasive still to this day. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, she just rammed Jade into the damn stairs super hard. I think she hit the spot that they were supposed to hit, and Jade got cut worse than they were anticipating. She was meant to get opened up, but probably not as opened up as she ended up being. But Nia Jax, since her return, has been excellent in the ring. People have fucked up around her, but I haven't seen it be her fault. Like the infamous Nia Karana, I think part of that is because Bayley just couldn't hold her in position. So I haven't seen this massive lack of ability in the ring from Nia Jax. If anything, I've seen improvement. I've also seen her improving her physique, the thing that I'm sure she has been made aware of by literally everyone is holding her back. And the last promo I saw Nia Jax cut was like ice cold. Like she has it. And if she keeps working at it and doing like she's doing, she's going to be it. Nia Jax has actually won me over because I used to not like her. So there is hope for Tiffany and for Jade and for anybody else who I'm criticizing. You get rid of my reason for the critique and suddenly I'm your biggest fan. That's how it works. I don't have a hate boner for anybody, save maybe CM Punk in the industry. And I can even stop and give CM Punk credit where credit is due. So trust, let us love you, fix what's broken, and we will mark out for you. I certainly will, and I believe you will too.
Yeah.
So, on a positive note, if you guys can fix these problems, then we will absolutely sing your praises and cheer from the highest mountaintops that our top tier wrestling podcast gives us to cheer for you from. That is my positive message on the end of relatively scathing criticism.
Yep. Amen.
And following the backstage segment with La Primera and Tiffany Stratton, we see that Paul Heyman is talking to Seth Rollins in the back, and he's asking if he's okay. And Seth says, I've got to beat him. Now, he doesn't necessarily say, I've got to beat Cody. That's inferred. But Paul is like, well, yeah, sure, of course you got to beat him. And Seth is like, I've got to beat him. Like he stops him and says, no, you don't get it. I've got to beat him. And that leaves Paul and the rest of the Vision kind of like, yeah, okay, crazy leader of the Vision, what? Go get him. And that that leads us into the Vision making their entrance for the main event, which is a tornado tag team match against the Vision and the Usos. And what were your thoughts on this main event match?
I thought that it was pretty high energy. I honestly thought that we were gonna get a little drama from Jimmy and Jay, because I mean, Jay did throw out some very, very salty comments, right before, technically, in storyline fashion, pretty much right before they were supposed to go out and have their match. Like time pauses after their conversation, then it's time for the match. So I thought that we were gonna get some, some snarkiness, from Jimmy. I don't think anybody's gonna be going heel per se. I mean, probably as much as Roman has gone heel because people still cheer for him. They love the shit out of him. So I think that might be the extent. But I thought most of the drama was gonna come from them, but it didn't. If there was some drama that was supposed to be discussed between the two, Bronson and Braun Breaker and oh my god, Bronson Reed.
Breaker and Reed. Yeah.
These Brock Brown. Look, both of you. You know who you pointing at you. Both of you right now. The Burks, yeah. But the Burks made sure that their attention was solely focused on them. I don't know if they're trying to separate slowly the Vision from Seth. I'm not sure what they're doing, but these two gentlemen, I can't say that these two gentlemen are definitely making names for themselves. Maybe Seth is stepping out of the picture so we focus more on them. In which case, I'm okay with that. Sorta. But they like everybody in this match looked good. But I think it was more for the storyline that this match existed because it got really, really good there at the end. Real good. And I don't know if you want me to say anything about it.
No, please say whatever you feel.
Okay. Well, towards the end of the match, there gets what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was that got, because it was looking like they were about to lose, like the Usos were about to.
It was looking bleak because you had Breaker double stacking Jimmy on top of Jay for Bronson to tsunami the life out of.
Yeah, which would have sucked ass for all parties involved, just so you guys know. But right as the jump's about to happen, Reigns' music hits, like Roman's music hits, and the audience explodes. I mean, if there was a pop that night, people were deaf. That's how loud these people got. Like, it was immediate.
Yeah.
And it was for a second there, I kept going, he's not here. He's not here because we're looking down the ramp and we don't see anybody. Like, he's not here. He's not here. And they go back to the ring and the Vision, they're standing there like, And I'm like,
they teased us. They teased us with his music playing just long enough to go. Is he really here, or is it Sami Zayn in the back cueing the music? I mean, what is he here?
I'm like, he's not here. Sure enough, my man was there. He comes out and the audience re-explodes. There was a small explosion, and then they saw him, and then there was a new explosion.
Yeah, they're gonna
Uh,
need a new roof at the arena.
yeah, he comes out with the chair, because he has something to say with metal, and he comes out and he pretty much, uh, he gets into the ring, and I remember this because, oh God, Breaker, um, he runs at Roman, and Roman's on the leaning up against the rope there, the middle rope, and basically just yeets his ass, just yeets Breaker right the fuck out the ring.
Yep, massive back body drop just over the top rope and out.
And then of course he goes to the obsession that he now has, which is Bronson Reed, big Bronson Reed, and chairs him right in the gut, and then just beats the life out of him with the chair. Um,
Yeah, he was tuning them up. There's none of this like only hit you once with the chair shit going on here.
no, no. Multiple chair shots to Bronson, and then I think Reigns, he gets out of the ring. I think he's following Bronson, who rolls out of the ring, but he gets out of the ring and then he puts Breaker back into the ring, which at this point Jimmy and Jay have the upper hand again. I think Jimmy gives Breaker a super kick. Jay gives him a spear. And then they do that.
The double ooze.
Is that what it's called? The double ooze.
Yep.
They do the double
Yep.
ooze. To get the victory. And then after that, Reigns continues, well, with his beatdown.
Oh yeah, like the nanosecond they won the match, he was back in the ring with that chair, like in with a quickness.
Yes. So he's back in there beating the stuffing out of Breaker, because now he needs to get a piece. And the camera is focused on Reigns and Jay, and in the middle, like in the back there, leaning up against the ropes, is Jimmy, and we see Reigns and Jay just conversing with each other, basically going along the sentiment of fuck everybody, smash them all. You know, of course I love to smash them all, but like
Yep.
they're basically doing like the say like smash them all. It's like, fuck this, fuck that. No, it don't nothing else matter but what's happening in this ring, family, bloodline, this, that, and Jimmy's leaning up against the
Yep.
ropes like damn, this is gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
after Jimmy and Jay had that little conversation where Jay was like, "Hey, if you focused on that, you'd be a champion too. But I can see you don't know nothing about that."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Like Jimmy, sorry, Roman and Jay are like clasping hands in kind of that like bro hug where you sort of do a handshake into a hug, and Roman's just like, "This is what it's all about. No one's going to give it to you. You got to take it. Smash them all. This is all that matters." And with every line coming out of Roman, Jay is like, "Yeet, yeet, yeet," like he's saying "preach" to his cousin. It was great, and yeah, the whole time Jimmy is just like staring at him like these two. Lost causes.
Yeah, yeah, he's over there shaking his head like, "Oh man." So yeah, really, and that's pretty much how the show goes off the air. Uh, Completely different story than Friday Night SmackDown. Speaking
Yes.
of which, now honestly, speaking of which, what would you rate this episode?
My final review here is that this was top tier. There were really good promos all around, like the promotion of what was happening with the Kabuki Warriors and Rhea and Io was phenomenal. The promo in the second part, the video package not so much, but the second promo face to face with Cody and Seth delivering that promo on another level. Again, Cody was just fine. I'm not trying to say he sucked, but Seth was on another level here. Um, And of course, solid matches, and the surprise return of Roman Reigns. This was top tier with the developing storylines, building heat for the Seth and Cody match, which I had literally just said in the last podcast. My interest was lacking because they haven't done enough to build it yet. Well, ding. Um, this episode fired on all cylinders. I am legitimately baffled that SmackDown and Raw are both the same WWE product, but Raw is so much better than SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I don't want to finish on that low note. Just to point out that it's surprising to me because Raw was so much better. This was top tier. 8 neck nubs.
Oh, for sure. You get the exact same number from me. 8 neck nubs. Everything that I wanted this show to be, everything I wanted SmackDown to be, this show was. The storylines I'm interested in. I want to see where this is going with Bailey and Lyra. I want to see where this is going with the Bloodline. I want to see where this is going with I even want to see where this is going with AJ and John Cena. I want to see that match. I'm looking forward to everything they talked about. Yeet. Even LA Knight, I'm interested to see what the fuck they're gonna do with him. He just came in there just to talk some smack to Adam Pearce and then whip Kofi Kingston's ass. Maybe there was no storyline development there, but at least we got to see what we wanted. We got to see the wrestlers we love in good matches where they were dominant and they whooped ass and everybody was happy. I got to see Raquel fucking dominate. I got to see Bailey lose her shit. I get to see Lyra in the shortest skirt possible.
Oh, hella yeet.
We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. She trying to get us. She trying to get us out here, y'all. Look, she ain't right for that. She was trying to get us. We gotta stay focused, y'all. We got to. Yeet. But yeah, no, this is an 8 neck nub show. For sure. I am excited and ready to see next Monday. I just wish we could skip Friday and pretend like Friday didn't happen and just go right to the next Monday. And that's
yeet.
And that's my verdict. That's my vote.
Excellent. Yeah, I fully agree with everything that just came out of your mouth.
Yeet.
And yeah, it's unfortunate that I feel the same way about SmackDown. Like I'm getting to where I'm less excited about that show coming on the air because it has been a dumpster fire for some time, and I'd really love to see it turn around. Much like I said of Jade and Tiffany, I'm not here to hate this stuff. I'm here because I'm a fan of it. But when it's disappointing, I can't help but be critical of it. But my criticism comes from a place of knowing you can do better, and I'm a big fan when you do. So please turn SmackDown around, just in general. Because Raw is operating on like another level. Like the line that Roman liked to use, there's levels to this shit. Well, Raw is on another level, whereas SmackDown is like making NXT look like it's the second main show.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. But that has been our coverage of WWE Monday Night Raw from September 29th. And I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. And I invite you to join us for our next episode, which should be our upcoming coverage of Friday Night SmackDown. Fingers crossed that ends up being a much better review and a much better show. But until then, I don't think there's much for me to do but roll the outro.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Top Tier Wrestling. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the latest AEW and WWE news and shows. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode. Follow us on social media for updates and to join the conversation. Until next time, everyone, remember, wrestling is always better when it's top tier.